I once was lost, but now I'm found, all because of Jesus. He will never let me down. Listen, I once was lost, but now I'm found, 'cause I got Jesus. He won't let me down. He had a plan for you and me when he died on Calvary. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Now I'm found. I got Jesus. He won't let me down. He had a plan for you.
I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continually be in my mouth. What's going on, everybody? All my brothers and sisters around the world, I pray all is well. My title says, I'm just simple. It don't take a lot for me. I'm just simple. It don't take a lot for me. And I want to give a shout out to my man, Mr. J, 1601, dynamic piano player. Oh man, I always tell people, brother, don't ever give up on the piano. If you can hang in there, it's a beautiful thing. And you know why I said that. Apostle Paul said some things in the book of Philippians as he was locked up in the penitentiary. He used his time wisely while he was in the pen. And he said around chapter 4, verses 11 and 12, he said, not that I speak in respect of want. He said, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith that to be content. And he said that I know both how to be abased and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I am instructed both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. See, we always want to quote, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, what he says later on down. But if you back up before 4 and 13, you will see Paul was in prison. And the reason I'm using this title, I'm just simple, it don't take a lot for me, because a lot of people got their focus on the wrong things in this life. Paul was saying, I know how it is to be hungry, but I also know how it is to be full. I know how it is to have money. I know how it is to make it with no money. I've learned how to be content. It don't matter what the situation is. I've learned. And being content don't always mean you're going to stay in that situation, but just learning how to deal with it and being content while you are in it. A lot of people get content and I'm going to be like this the rest of my life, mixed up. You are only where you want to be the rest of your life because that's what you make out of it, and you give up. But when you learn that I'm just content, how many of us are content right now? Long as we got a roof over our head, we got clothes on our body, we got a way to get around. How many of us are content in a good way? Or so many of us are complaining? Paul was a prisoner once again when he wrote this. He even told his guards about Jesus. Oh man, what if we would just start telling folks about Jesus? He in the penitentiary and he's telling his guards about Jesus. Paul was using that time. How are we using our time? How many of us are just not low down, but down to earth? We cool. We chilling. We learn how to deal with things. How many of us are frustrated with life, mad, angry, complaining all the time, want more, want. And when you start focusing on all your wants, I want this, I want that, you start forgetting about that you already have what you need to make it in this life. We must learn that just because we up today, we can be down 10 minutes later on in the same day. You know what I learned, y'all? These are my little quotes that I always say to myself, because a lot of people I know think it's about money. I learned that it's not about where I came from. It's about where I'm going. Because, see, I didn't get a good start either. But I looked at how I started, and I said, I don't have to finish that way. Just because you start out in the hood, you don't have to end up in the hood. You don't have to wind up doing what the hood do. You can have a better ending. Most of us that started out in the hood died in the hood, or we locked up in prison. It ain't about where you come from. You're not held accountable for where you come from, but you will be held accountable to where you're going, where you end up at. It don't matter, my brothers and sisters, the kind of shoes I got on my feet. It's about where my feet is taking me. So I'm not caught up in all this name brand, this name brand, that. It's all good, you know. But I started thinking about where my feet taking me to. So whether I got on some Stacey Adams or some Pro Wings from Payless, y'all heard what I'm saying? I'm still gonna keep walking. Excuse that phone. We tend to think that it's all about these material things. Excuse the phone again. I thought I had it cut off. Oh, that distracted me. Oh, I was saying it ain't about the name brand of shoes that's on our feet, but where our feet is taking us. It's not about how big this house is, y'all. As long as I got a roof over my head. It's not about what I got in the refrigerator so much. It's about I got something in there to eat. I'm not going to starve. And when you start looking at life and looking at that the Lord have already gave you what you need, you might not have everything you want, but when you look at the things that the Lord has blessed us with that we need, it shouldn't even be no complaining at all. No complaining at all. It's not about the fancy clothes, because I can go to the thrift store and look just as good as spending hundreds and hundreds on clothes. I can take $20 and get a whole outfit, because it ain't about what I got on. It's not about the car I'm driving, long as it's getting me from point A to B. My buddy used to tell me life is just like writing with a pen. He said you can cross out, brother JT, your past, but you can't erase it. He said we got to keep moving in life. And then I think about them old trucks going down the road making all that racket, just bouncing up and down, up and down. They're making a lot of noise because they don't have no load on it. But when you see a heavy load come down the street, a truck with a heavy load, it's not making a lot of that noise. Why? Because it's mounted down. It's quieter. What are you saying? Though we have our loads in life, but let's remember this, the load is not all that heavy. It's the way we carry it. And if you carrying your load to the Father, who is the only one that can pretty much handle all of it, then your load shouldn't be all that heavy. All that heavy, I mean. I might not be all the way where I intended to be at right now in life, but I do believe I've ended up where I need to be. See, some of us is sitting way too long. We ain't moving. Another old cat used to tell me, say, brother, you know life is just like riding a bicycle. I say, what you mean? He said, our life is like riding a bicycle. You got to keep your balance and you got to keep pedaling. When you stop pedaling, then you sitting still. Some of us ain't pedaling at all. Some of us done even took the chain off the bike. Some of our chains got a couple of links missing, and we can only go just a little steps, and then we are messed up. I'll close with this, because I want to close telling the piano players this. I used to get real mad on the piano, y'all, when I couldn't figure out certain chords. When wouldn't nobody help me, I found myself getting mad so many times. But the piano taught me something about life also, about being patient, about even though you didn't learn what you wanted, you still learned something else. And I couldn't find certain chords and I would be pissed off. One time I was trying to figure out this song. I believe it was one of them Earth, Wind, and Fire songs. Or maybe maybe Serpentine Fire, something like that. One of them songs that had a bunch of changes in it. When I first was trying to learn a lot of different stuff, I was mad I just couldn't get it right. I stayed on that song all day. A couple of people said, JT, just give up, man. JT, you been on the piano all day. You should feel a little stupid, man. You just done wasted your time. You didn't learn nothing at all. I said, you know what? Y'all right. On the first part, I have been on it all day. All day. I've been on it from the sun up to the sun down. But I said, but y'all wrong when you say I didn't learn nothing. I said, though I didn't learn the exact chords I wanted, but I've been on it all day, but I learned 100 new ways how to play different chords. I learned some different ways how to do some more chord structures. I learned a few more keys. So I've been on it all day, but look at how much I did accomplish. So I use that same thing in my life. I might not get things right all the time, but that don't stop me from trying and learning at all. I might not have got those main chords on the piano I was looking for, but I did learn a whole lot of more. As the old folk you say, I learned a whole lot of more. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.